I'm Jon Rudder live from Progressive Field with a hot dog slider and the whole gang. We're getting you ready for Wild Card Weekend from the ballpark. First pitch in just a few hours. We have you covered here on Good Morning Cleveland. Hey, good morning, Katie. Good morning, Danita. Yeah, the marriage between the Browns and quarterback Deshaun Watson took another turn Wednesday afternoon when the NFL announced they would appeal that 6-game suspension. And that's what Cavaliers head coach J.B. Bickerstaff and GM Colby Altman love about their new center. He knows when it's time to go to work. The son of a coach and teacher, Evan Mobley, is ready to take Cleveland to school. Hey, good morning, Katie. Good morning, Danita. Well, with training camp starting last week and the Browns' first preseason game just 11 days away, we may finally have an answer for how much time Deshaun Watson could potentially miss. Well, you may not be able to walk the red carpet, but the NFL has certainly rolled out the red carpet for fans here at the locker room at the NFL Draft Experience. This is a football fan's dream. They have everything that you could imagine, including bedazzled helmets. Now, Lazort has caddied for 2 winners. In 1965, he caddied for Gary Player when he won the World Series of Golf. The grand prize that year, $50,000. The caddies take $2,500. He said he used that to buy his first house. That 6-game suspension comes with no additional fine. The news comes after a month-long investigation by NFL disciplinary officer Sue L. Robinson. The Browns hit the bye week at 5-3, their best mark through 8 games since 2014. The layoff allowing them to get healthy, but perhaps the biggest boost, running back Nick Chubb. The Browns' Pro Bowl running back activated from the injured reserve today. Yeah, good morning. That 35-30 win over the Cincinnati Bengals notched the first win of the Kevin Stefanski era. The Browns back to work today after the bye week. The break coming at the midway point of the season. The Browns sitting at 5-3. But no Baker Mayfield on the practice field today after he was placed on the reserve COVID-19 list. The team announcing yesterday Mayfield did not test positive for the virus. Coming into the weekend, the Indians had a chance to gain some serious ground on the Minnesota Twins, but when it was all said and done on Sunday, they were just looking to avoid a sweep. Well, it's the news that many of us saw coming, but perhaps didn't want to admit. After Carlos Carrasco was placed on an indefinite leave from the Tribe in early June, the team calling it an unspecified blood condition, but now we know what it is. Carlos Carrasco and the Tribe announcing yesterday that Cookie has cancer. One street at a time.
And I started in my own neighborhood, and it's just kind of expanded beyond that.
Phil Kidd is learning his way around his new city.
I want to kind of stop and explore them a little more.
Mile by mile.
To my knowledge, there's about 3,000 street miles in Cleveland.
Turn by turn.
And I'm just kind of taking it 1 5-mile chunk at a time.
A recreational runner.
I run in all different weather conditions. I ran all through the winter. I ran through the heat of the pandemic last summer. I was really interested in kind of getting to know the city on a more granular level.
Phil's route started to become a history lesson.
This is basically where Moses Cleveland, just a little further upstream, pulled the boat in and said, you know, this looks like the spot.
Turning Cleveland's vibrant neighborhoods.
It was really cool being able to stop at some of the more iconic locations, I think, that are kind of also forgotten.
Into a masterclass of the past.
This is Leonard Avenue that comes right through here. This was an actual original street from 1833.
From the historic flats.
This is, to me, one of, if not the coolest place in Cleveland. Look at the vista you see here of the skyline of downtown.
To Irishtown Bend.
This is where the first Irish immigrants settled. They helped build the canalway systems.
Every road revealing a new chapter.
Because of a lot of the development, there's streets that no longer exist.
For every monument, a new subject.
Cleveland Fire Station number 24, which the firefighters refer to as the Wild Wild West.
Like any good student, as Phil ran.
What I'll do is the night before, I'll research the area I'm going to run.
But he also began to write.
I do a blog post.
Phil even started his own website.
It's basically an accumulation of everything that I kind of experienced on that run.
Full of miles worth of memoirs.
All the notable landmarks, all the history, and all the cool photos.
Moments that he wants to share.
A lot of art that's in little alleyways, on the backs of garages or on fences.
With the rest of Northeast Ohio.
A lot of streets that I think people in Cleveland would probably otherwise never explore.
Because we all know what's here.
So this is a really cool building. This is an old stone yard. So on our right here, we have Hooples, a Cleveland institution. I never knew that Cleveland script sign was there.
And if you look past the rust-covered railroad bridges and rugged buildings,
what I think's amazing is how much infrastructure is still in place.
You might just learn something too.
It's just been an incredible experience as far as learning on the history of each one of these literally like neighborhood blocks.
Phil Kidd did. Phil even learned a little about himself along the way.
I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to complete this.
And that these streets and these neighborhoods,
The old infrastructure with the old drop bridges,
leave behind a footprint,
the old trains themselves that are still in place in the tracks.
showing how far the city has come.
It's really kind of like ground zero, I think, for what Cleveland once was.
And what's hopefully right around the bend.
That's what's beautiful about, a place like Cleveland, is it has the ability to kind of reinvent itself all the time.
Reporting for News 5,
There's a lot preserved here, but you also see the future of the city.
I'm Jon Rudder.